Okay, so the end of the season is just around the corner, so that means the Player of the Year awards are all going to be coming out. We're going to be discussing all of those and who we think will win those awards, but the Bundesliga has already picked their Player of the Year, and to no surprise, it is Harry Kane. Fresh off winning his first major club trophy of his career, Bayern Munich striker has named Harry Kane the Bundesliga Player of the season. The English talisman scored 26 league goals, winning him the Bundesliga top scorer for the second consecutive season, putting his average to 1 goal every 92 minutes. So Bundesliga has already been decided, so we're going to be discussing first who we think the La Liga... No, my bad. We're going to be talking about who we think the Premier League is going to be picking for their Player of the Year. Darren, we're going to come to you.
Yeah, I think it's obvious. It's Mo Salah. I mean, 28 goals, 18 assists in the EPL. Has the opportunity to win Ballon d'Or. He's one of the nominees. I don't know if you'll get it because there's some Barcelona players that are balling out even more. But I mean, 32 years old, putting up the numbers that he's done. I mean, we've talked about him in a poetic way this entire season about how good he's been for Liverpool. It's absolutely iconic, and I think this is the year that he has to win it. I don't think there's any argument as to somebody else in the EPL.
Yeah, I think he's the front runner, but I also take into consideration my expectations from the start of the season, and there was a team that just escaped relegation and their talisman that helped them get beyond that line, and Rasmus Højlund for Manchester United really helped Manchester United avoid relegation. And I don't know what my outset was,
that was a deep sarcastic comment. I didn't even know where you were going with that.
The name on the back of Nico's kit is hater.
Yeah,
number one hater.
It's been a long week, guys, but I'll be here on Sunday.
I think Salah came out this past week and said, this is my year to win the Ballon d'Or.
He said it's his best chance.
Best chance.
Realistically.
I think everyone would agree with that.
It's his best chance, but like I said, even Arne Slot agreed with this, that there's some other guys that are even putting up even bigger numbers than Mo Salah. The EPL, of course, is different, but I mean, just look at the company that he's in. It's absolutely iconic, but I don't know if he's going to win the Ballon d'Or. I would love to see an Egyptian player win it, of course, but he definitely has EPL on lock.
Yeah, I think Liverpool won the league too early, right? When you win the league too early, and I think it kind of coincided with Salah not getting as many goals and assists once they clinched it. Middle of the season, I thought Salah was front runner for Ballon d'Or.
He was.
And then it kind of slowed down a little bit once Liverpool clinched it, and I just think it'll be tough for him to win, but it's without a doubt the Premier League Player of the Year will go to Salah.
I feel like Ballon d'Or, there's a lot of recency bias when we have these types of conversations.
And Champions League plays a part as well.
For sure, you're running Champions League plays a part. I don't necessarily think you need to win. I think it helps a lot if you do win. But if Inter wins Champions League, I don't think the Ballon d'Or winner is going to come out of Inter, right? So it's a conversation to be had. But if Liverpool were getting pushed to the very end, and Mo this weekend was having a goal and an assist to help Liverpool get over the line and win the Prem, we'd all kind of still have Mo Salah on our mind. And even if they didn't win Champions League, we'd still be saying, I think collectively, this guy's a phenom. Right. I mean, look at what he's doing. Yeah. I still think he's a phenom, and look at what he's doing. It's pretty impressive. But I think massively, like Lamine Yamal has taken center stage, for example.
Agreed. But if Dembele balls out in the final.
Right.
Yeah.
But he only had, he literally went off from the turn of the year to now. I don't want to take anything away from that. It's been absolutely impressive. But, Mo was arguably, numbers-wise, just as hot from August to January, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you have to kind of argue.
Yeah, the
results. Whole season, the results of the whole season. I mean, he's on his holidays already, isn't he? Let's move on to Serie. Nico, you just mentioned them there. Who do you think the Player of the Year will be in Serie?
This was a tough one, and I think it really depends who wins. I guess it hinges on one game, but yeah, if you win a title, I think you need to arguably have the Player of Serie A, and Scott McTominay for Napoli. I'm being dead serious.
You said that so like
I mean,
it's very unexpected.
Yeah,
he has been so essential to Napoli, and they started the season losing Osimhen, right? We knew that was going to happen, but then halfway through the season they lost Kvara, and this guy has really been the heart and soul, the oil to the engine of Napoli.
If Napoli wins the Scudetto, I think it's almost a no-brainer. Scott McTominay has to win the Player of the Year. Now, if it goes in the other direction for Inter, I think there's a bigger question mark now because Inter does have other pieces. You could say Thuram. You could make arguments for maybe some other players or maybe other players of other teams.
I would say Thuram.
Yeah.
If it was Inter, I would say Thuram. I think it was just a little bit better than Lautaro.
Yeah.
But because Inter is this greater than some other parts team, it's difficult to pinpoint that is the poster
guy,
boy of the
It's like
success.
any given day, it could be 5-6 different players.
It could be Denzel Dumfries.
Yeah, that's who was in my mind as well.
That poses the question then, does the Player of the Year have to come from the title-winning team?
Not necessarily, but I think it makes you make a big case by winning the championship.
Yeah, I agree.
You have to be exceptional in some sort of stat, I think, to win it.
But then you think Inter, Napoli, whoever wins, it's been so close.
Right.
It could be Thuram, it could be McTominay. I know.
But there hasn't been really a standout star. If you're telling me Napoli lost it, but Lukaku was capocannoniere, record season capocannoniere.
So it goes down to who wins it in Serie A, basically.
In this edition, yes. Matteo Retegui is going to run away with the capocannoniere. He was going to run away with it from a month ago. The numbers that he was putting up were extraordinary. But is he necessarily player of the season? I think Atalanta were very prolific, and that was a manifestation of a very good system, and he's taken an extraordinary jump. But to go out and say player of the season for a team that finished third, did they overachieve? Yeah, but was he the best player in the entire league?
Yeah.
Let's wait until tonight.
Yeah.
And we'll make a better, more informed decision.
Darren, we're going to come to you with La Liga. Who do you think should be the Player of the Year?
For La Liga, I'm going to go Lamine Yamal. I think Yamal has been fantastic. I mean, we've talked about this guy week in, week out, how brilliant he is. Only 17 years old. Nobody looks like this at 17, and I think it only goes up from here. Ballon d'Or, Player of the Season, I think he's got it on lock.
Benny?
Look, I mean, the case between Raphinha and Yamal is a difficult one. You look at the stats, and I think we'll bring that up in a little bit here, but Raphinha has more goals plus assists than Lamine Yamal, and it's hard to argue against that, but I'll try because this guy's a phenom. And for me, I know we talked about the Ballon d'Or a couple minutes ago, and to me, this is the guy, right? It's the presence, it's the aura, it's what he means to world football. This guy is a difference maker, and I think Raphinha is a little bit more the guy that benefits from what Lamine Yamal and everybody else on that Barcelona team gives off. Raphinha is the guy that ends up on the end of things, and he has had a wonderful season, but this guy's a difference maker in so many ways. He is, to me, the best player in the world right now at 17 years old.
Okay, can I make a crazy argument?
Let's go for it.
Can Lamine Yamal be my Ballon d'Or candidate, but Raphinha the best player in La Liga?
Yes.
Am I being stupid?
It depends. Are you making both those decisions? Because it's two different entities that make those decisions, so I think it's possible that can happen.
Okay, let's just say I had a Ballon d'Or vote and I had a La Liga Player of the Season vote. And I said, Raphinha is the best player in La Liga, but my Ballon d'Or vote goes to Lamine Yamal. I'm being stupid?
I think
I'm
bugging?
You're going on both sides of the wall there a little bit. You're doing a Nige.
Yeah.
You're calling him out on.
I think that just kind of sounds like you feel a bit sorry for Raphinha, so you're going to give him Player of the Season and then give Yamal the...
Eye test for me, I think a lot of us coincide that this kid's the best player in the world. Also, I do think that, I know we're talking about these guys, you look at the assists, right, in La Liga, and overall, they both contribute the same from assists, but beyond we can make as many graphics as we can put as many numbers as you can. Watch a Barcelona game and tell me who you think is the best player on that team, right? I also do think in this conversation, Pedri deserves to be mentioned.
I agree.
To be considered.
We talk about MVPs, right, for the team, most valuable players, and I'm not going by stats and anything like that. And I would argue that Pedri is it's Yamal, Pedri, Raphinha.
I agree. Yeah, the team that team would not play or have the same resiliency. These guys wouldn't have the same stats if it wasn't for Pedri
Right.
and how he dominates the midfield. They would not be as organized as they are. We wouldn't be talking about Barcelona in the same vein at all, I think, without Pedri.